Ladies and gentlemen, today we are going over the plan. Because we are going to go over what Yannick Hansen said on the radio, Canucks Talk, earlier this week. Yannick Hansen, of course, has been such a historied member of the Vancouver Canucks circle, dating all the way back to 2011 when he assisted on Raffi Torres' 1-0 Game 1 goal against the Boston Bruins to give Vancouver the go-ahead lead with seconds remaining in the third period. Hansen played for Vancouver for quite a while, then he got traded over to San Jose, was a first-line player with Joe Thornton for a little bit, and then he retired, and now he's talking about the Canucks on the radio every few days. This is a tweet from Taj that dives into the quote-unquote Yannick Hansen plan. And I know that Yannick Hansen, as a radio commentator, has had quite the divisive reputation amongst Canucks fans that listen to these Sportsnet 650 radio shows. You can say that Yannick Hansen is too negative. You can say that the guy is a hater. But honestly, I wouldn't really say that about him. I'd say that he is just very blunt in the way that he evaluates the Vancouver Canucks, and he is not afraid to tear the Band-Aid off. He is not afraid to use language that clearly articulates his point without being subtle. He does not beat around the bush. If some guys are playing like crap, he calls them out for it, and the unfortunate truth about the Canucks is they have not really been good the past 2 years. So Yannick Hansen is one of these guys that's very outspoken in a market that maybe punishes folks for being too outspoken at times. This is the Yannick Hansen plan, courtesy of a tweet from Taj yesterday. He says it's a lot better than what the Canucks have planned. The first step, write off the next 3 years to collect draft picks and young talent. Number 2, sign UFAs like Kiefer Sherwood and give them a big role. Then, sell them off. And number 3, buy draft picks by taking on bad contracts. Now, let's dive into each of these points one by one, starting with the first one. Write off the next 3 years to just collect picks and get young talent. This is something that I think the Vancouver Canucks might, unfortunately, be forced to do. And the reason why I say it's unfortunate is because, you know, if the Vancouver Canucks had an opportunity to try to force being competitive, they would take it. The way this team is run, the way ownership has stepped in multiple times over the years, you know that the Vancouver Canucks have a very big reticence to choosing to write years off. Now, they might be forced to do that, which is why you had these hybrid retool comments made. You had the sentiment being reported that apparently the Canucks might be interested in taking a step back for 2 years. This is what they're forced into. But Yannick Hansen's plan is like, no, take the next 3 years and decide that this is not worth pursuing. Decide that these years will be bad years and decide to build a team that fits for beyond that. Use these next 3 years to get as many draft picks and young, talented players as you can without trying to make desperate trades for win-now pieces. Maybe you can sign guys, you can give players roles, and you can bolster them up in the lineup, give them a lot of opportunity, and then trade them away later. But that doesn't really align with some of the reporting we have seen. Let's say Vancouver gives Kiefer Sherwood a 4-year, $4 million contract, AAV. That doesn't really seem tradable. And Kiefer Sherwood is a player who I honestly don't think he is good enough to attain status that would make him a $4 million player consistently. Maybe this year, if you look at just the numbers, okay, he's on pace for 34 goals. Maybe that's a guy that's worth 4, but is he going to do that every single year? I don't really think so. So why not re-sign Sherwood with the intention of giving him a top spot and then sell him off later? You see, if Vancouver were to re-sign Sherwood, I think it would cause a big ruckus in the fan base, as we had seen in yesterday's video commentary. But if there's a bigger, longer-term vision that is clear to fans and media from that contract signing, if there is an immediate presence for Sherwood in the top 6, if there's a power play 1 presence when everybody is healthy, if there is a chance for him to get consistent goal scoring throughout, then it might increase the price, and then maybe a lot of other teams would be more interested in coughing up that first-round pick. But it's not going to be because Vancouver wants to win now in 2026 or 2027. Taking a look at the last point that Yannick Hansen made, buy draft picks by taking on bad contracts, that's one of the things here too that I think can validate Vancouver's strategy. If the Canucks were to be able to facilitate a trade, they become the 3rd team in a 3-way trade for a guy to retain salary twice. If they're able to do that still, then it gives Vancouver that much of a clearer direction for what they're doing. You know, like Montreal, when they took on David Savard's contract when he went to Tampa Bay, for example. 3-way trades have been pretty common over the past few years. Even just normal trades. Pavel Datsyuk and Marian Hossa and Shea Weber all going to Arizona. Remember them? Yeah, those guys are all Arizona Coyotes alumni. Those guys were sent over because Arizona wanted to weaponize their cap space. They wanted to use it as a way to say, hey, we have all this room, and you have a problem. So we are going to give you a chance to fix your problems, but you gotta give us some draft picks too. Smart move. It worked. Arizona got a bunch of picks, and unfortunately they weren't really able to use them properly in their organization. I mean, Logan Cooley's doing fine, but he's not an Arizona Coyote anymore. Heck, nobody is. But that's neither here nor there. That's not a problem with the team and the way they were managed personnel-wise. It was more just an issue with the team existing. Anyways, Vancouver, if they were to decide to go down that path, they could stock up on this upcoming draft. It's a good draft year. There are going to be a lot of nice young names that are very talented. If Vancouver can get multiple first, that would be ideal. Multiple beyond just the 1 and the 2 that they have from the Quinn Hughes trade. Thomas Drance said about Kiefer Sherwood, if nobody's trading a first-round pick for Sherwood, then add on to Kiefer Sherwood to get a first-round pick. If the best you're going to get for Sherwood is a second, then why not trade Sherwood and another draft pick for a first instead? There can be ways to manipulate the first-round pick because firsts are a lot more valuable than seconds, and Kiefer Sherwood, if his value is that far gone, there's no possibility that he gets anything more than a second and maybe a smaller prospect. Then you just have to suck it up. Like Patrick Allvin not making trades because, oh, they didn't give us what we wanted. Fair game, but you might lose these guys in free agency. Brock Besser was a miracle that he actually wanted to stay in Vancouver, but that guy was just about gone. If Vancouver got their way with Christian Dvorak, for example, Brock Besser would not be a Canuck anymore. Plain and simple. And now we're thinking about this team a year later like, oh yeah, no, they're probably best off setting themselves up to take on bad contracts and dead cap space. What Arizona was doing when they made the trade for Eriksson, Beagle, and Roussel is what Vancouver should be doing now. Thanks, Jim Benning. Okay, we're not gonna continue down that train of thought, shall we? Anyways, I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If this is the plan, if this was the plan, firstly, what are your thoughts on it? And secondly, what kind of names do you think Vancouver should go out there and target? If they were to take on some bad cap to get some draft picks, maybe sign other guys and give them bigger roles to boost their stock and then trade them afterwards, what are your thoughts on that entire process? What are your thoughts on Yannick Hansen's trade plan here? And do you agree with it? Let me know in the comment section below all your opinions. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.